Most people will die full of talent and empty of proof. That is the harsh truth nobody says out loud. You are not only afraid of failing, you are afraid your life will pass and nothing real will ever come out of you. So if there is still a fire in you that refuses to die, stay close to this voice and subscribe, because I am not here to comfort the part of you that wants to hide. I am here to call out the part of you that was born to rise. Now let's tell the truth the way life tells it. Your potential means nothing without action. Let that settle in. Your potential means nothing without action. Not your plans, not your dreams, not the way people said you were smart when you were young, not how much promise you have, not how much pain you survived. What matters is what you do with what you have, while you still have time to do something with it. And I know that hurts, because a lot of you are tired. A lot of you are trying to hold yourself together while the world keeps asking for more. You have been disappointed. You have been ignored. You have watched people with less heart move faster than you. I know what it feels like to sit in a room and feel like you were made for more, but somehow your days keep slipping through your hands. That pain is real. But here is the truth bomb. Life does not reward hidden greatness. Life rewards expressed greatness. A seed can carry a forest inside it, but if it stays in your pocket, it dies a seed. Think about that. It does not matter how special the seed is if it never touches the dirt. It does not matter how strong the dream is if it never touches your schedule. We love the idea of potential because potential is clean, potential is safe, potential has not been tested yet. Potential lets us imagine a better version of ourselves without forcing us to become it. But action is different. Action gets your hands dirty. Action makes you look clumsy at first. Action exposes the gap between who you wish you were and who you actually are. And most people would rather protect the fantasy than face the gap. That is why years go by. Days become weeks, weeks become months, months become years, and a person who could have built something powerful is still telling the same story about what they are going to do. Listen carefully. You do not become dangerous by having gifts. You become dangerous by using them. You do not become confident by imagining a future. You become confident by keeping small promises to yourself. You do not become strong by wanting a better life. You become strong by lifting the weight of a better life every single day. No excuses, no waiting, no rescue, just action. That is the harsh truth about your potential. The world will not clap because you could have been great. The world responds when greatness becomes visible. And visible greatness is built in private first. In mornings when you do not feel like getting up. In nights when nobody checks on you. In lonely hours when the result is not here yet, but you keep going anyway. A lot of people are in love with the image of success, but they are strangers to the habits that create it. They want the fruit without the roots. They want the glow without the grind. They want the reward without the repetitions. But life does not work like that. A seed must go under before it comes up. It must disappear before it breaks through. That is how your growth works too. There will be seasons when it looks like nothing is happening. There will be seasons when all you see is dirt. But under that dirt, roots are deciding your future. So stop judging your life only by what other people can see. Stop acting like slow growth is no growth. Stop acting like being behind means being finished. It does not. But hidden growth still needs real work. A buried seed that never opens is still a dead seed. And a gifted person who never moves is still stuck. So here is the first question you need to hear while the truth is still burning in your chest. How much longer are you going to call yourself full of potential while your gift stays buried in the dark? Let's go deeper, because this is where a lot of lives get lost. People think their problem is motivation. It is not. The real problem is that they built their future on feelings. And feelings are weak leaders. Feelings change with sleep, weather, money, mood, memory. Feelings say, start tomorrow. Feelings say, you deserve a break before you earned one. Feelings say, do it when it is easier. But your future cannot be built on whatever feeling showed up this morning. It has to be built on something stronger. It has to be built on reps. Think of a simple push-up. Nobody gets stronger by watching workout videos. Nobody gets stronger by talking about getting stronger. Nobody gets stronger by buying the shoes, the mat, the shaker bottle, the outfit. Strength shows up one rep at a time. One ugly rep, one shaky rep, one tired rep, and then another, and then another. That is how your life changes too. Not in one giant heroic moment. Not in one perfect day where everything clicks. Brick by brick, rep by rep. Choice by choice. This is where your potential gets tested. Can you do what needs to be done when the mood is gone? Can you stay with the process when the praise is gone? Can you keep moving when the result is still quiet? Because that is where real people separate themselves. Not in talent, not in talking, not in waiting, but in doing the boring things long enough for them to become powerful. A lot of young people want to skip this part. They want a sign, they want a spark, they want one big breakthrough. But breakthroughs are usually just boring faith repeated for a long time. We see the moment the wall breaks. We do not see the 1,000 swings of the hammer before it. Let that settle in. Every day you delay the rep, you delay the result. Every day you break your word to yourself, you train weakness. And every day you keep your word, even in a small way, you train identity. That matters. Because your life does not rise to the level of your wishes. It falls to the level of your habits. Read that on your own heart. Your potential means nothing without action, and action becomes real when it becomes regular. Not once, not when you feel inspired, not when people are watching, but regular. You need a rhythm, not a rush. You need a system, not a speech. You need standards, not moods. That is why discipline is love in work clothes. Discipline does not always feel kind in the moment, but it protects your future. It says, I know you are tired, but get up. I know you are hurt, but keep your promise. I know you are scared, but take the step. No one is coming to wake you up. No one is coming to force you to be focused. No one is coming to build your future. The person capable of changing your life is already in the mirror, and that person does not need another pep talk nearly as much as they need another rep. Write one more page, save one more dollar. Make one more call, do one more hour. One more rep seems small until it becomes the thing that made the difference. People overrate intensity and underrate consistency. They sprint for 3 days and disappear for 3 weeks. They announce, they vanish, they restart. Announce, vanish, restart. That cycle breaks people. Why? Because it teaches you not to trust yourself. And once you stop trusting yourself, even easy things start to feel heavy. So earn that trust back in the smallest honest way possible. Wake up when you said you would. Finish what you started. Leave less undone. Make your word mean something to you again. That is how you build a man. That is how you build a life. That is how you turn possibility into proof. So answer this while nobody else can answer it for you. When no one was watching today, which version of you showed up? The one with excuses or the one with reps? Now we have to talk about time, because time is the silent thief that never argues with you. It just keeps walking, and too many people live like they have another lifetime hidden in the closet. They keep pushing their real life into some future season that never arrives. I will start when I feel ready. I will change when things calm down. I will go after it when I have more money, more support, more confidence, more certainty. But listen, there is no perfect season waiting to save you. Life is seasons. Winter teaches, spring stretches, summer rewards, fall reveals. And if you keep waiting for a season with no fear, no pressure, no doubt, you will wait until your best years become a story you tell with regret in your voice. That is the harsh truth about your potential. It does not just die from failure. A lot of the time, it dies from delay. Slow delay, polite delay, reasonable delay. The kind of delay that sounds smart when you explain it and feels tragic when you live it. Think about how many dreams were not destroyed by one big mistake. They were suffocated by small postponements. Tomorrow, next month, after the holidays, after I get my head right, after I feel better. And all the while, time keeps moving. Days become weeks, weeks become months, months become years. The face in the mirror changes, the energy changes, the hunger changes, the chances change. And then one day you wake up and realize you did not need more time. You needed more truth. More truth about the cost of waiting. More truth about what hesitation steals. More truth about how expensive comfort becomes when you stay there too long. Comfort is a soft chair with a hard price. It feels good now and costs you later. It whispers, stay here. Rest a little longer. Avoid the risk. Do not embarrass yourself. Do not begin until you know it will work. But life does not give clarity to the person who only thinks. Life gives clarity to the person who moves. The path shows itself to the walker, not the watcher. You learn courage by using courage. You learn direction by taking directionless steps. You learn what works by doing enough to find out what does not. That is why your potential means nothing without action. A clock on the wall does not care about your fear. It does not stop for your self-doubt. It does not slow down because you had a hard childhood. It just keeps moving. And if that sounds cold, good. Some truth needs to feel cold so it can wake you up. Because I would rather tell you the truth now than watch you spend 10 more years negotiating with the life you know you were supposed to build. There is still time, yes, but not endless time. There is still hope, yes, but hope without movement becomes fantasy. There is still room to change, yes, but change respects urgency. You do not have to rush with panic. You do not have to turn your life into chaos. But you do need to stop acting like delay is free. It is not free. It costs confidence. It costs momentum. It costs self-respect. Every day you avoid the hard thing grows. Every day you face it, you grow. That is the trade. That is the law. That is how life works. So stop asking if the time is perfect. Ask if the cost of staying the same is finally heavy enough. Stop asking if you are ready. Ask if you are willing. Stop asking if it will be easy. Ask if the pain of regret would be worse. Because one day you will pay. You will pay in discipline or you will pay in disappointment. You will pay in effort or you will pay in regret. Choose your bill. So let me ask you something that cuts deeper than comfort. If you keep living the way you are living right now, what exactly will your hesitation cost you a year from now? And now we get to something even more dangerous than fear. The need for approval. This one has buried more potential than failure ever could. Because some people are not lazy. They are tied to the opinions of friends, family, strangers, old teachers, old labels, old versions of themselves. They do not move because they are busy asking the crowd for permission to become who they are supposed to be. Think about that. You can waste a whole life trying to look acceptable to people who are not even brave enough to live their own lives honestly. You can shrink your dreams so other people feel comfortable around you. You can dim your lights so insecure people do not have to squint. You can stay average just to stay approved. But average is expensive when greatness keeps knocking from the inside. This is where the mirror becomes important. Not the mirror that shows your face, the mirror that shows your ownership. The person capable of changing your life is already in the mirror. The approval you are begging from others cannot replace the respect you lose when you betray yourself. Let that settle in. Every time you silence your own call to fit into a room that was never built for you, something inside you gets quieter, not dead, just quieter. And if you do that long enough, you start living like a guest in your own life. You ask smaller questions, you set smaller goals, you settle for smaller days. Why? Because being liked feels safer than being true. But being false has a cost. It drains your spirit, it steals your fire, it makes your own life feel borrowed. Listen, not everyone will understand the new you. Not everyone is supposed to. Some people only know how to love the version of you that made them feel comfortable. The moment you grow, they call you different. The moment you focus, they call you distant. The moment you set standards, they call you selfish. But different is not always betrayal. Sometimes different is growth. Sometimes distant is healing. Sometimes selfish is finally choosing not to abandon yourself anymore. Your potential means nothing without action, and one of the boldest actions you can take is to stop letting other people vote on your destiny. You do not need a room full of claps to do what your soul already knows. You need honesty, you need courage, you need a backbone strong enough to carry your purpose even when understanding does not come with it. No approval, no applause, no permission, just truth, just work, just becoming. There will be lonely seasons in this. Yes. There will be misunderstood seasons. Yes. There will be seasons where it feels like you are walking by yourself. But alone and aligned is better than accepted and asleep. Think about that. Better to lose fake support than lose your real self. Better to offend people with your growth than disappoint your future with your cowardice. Better to be judged for trying than pitied later for never becoming what you could have been. And let me say this with love. Stop making a home inside excuses that wear other people's faces. Stop saying they did not support me enough. Stop saying they doubted me. Stop saying they did not understand me. Maybe they did. Maybe they did not. But your life is still your life. Your gift is still your gift. Your responsibility is still your responsibility. At some point, maturity means taking your hands off their throat and putting your hands back on your future. So here is the question you cannot dodge if you want to be free. Whose voice are you obeying every time you betray your own calling? Now let's bring it home. Because after all the truth, all the pressure, all the hard lines, it still comes down to one thing: becoming. Not pretending, not promising, not performing for a week. Becoming. And becoming is built the same way a wall is built, brick by brick. Nobody lays 1,000 bricks in one day and calls it a life. They lay one brick as well as it can be laid. Then another, then another. That is how homes stand. That is how character stands. That is how futures stand. Too many people crush themselves because they keep staring at the whole wall, the whole dream, the whole mountain, the whole distance, and they freeze. But your job is not to finish your whole life today. Your job is to place today's brick well. That is it. Make the call, read the chapter, train the body, learn the skill, save the money, tell the truth, leave the bad habit, return to the path. One brick, then another. Your potential means nothing without action, but action does not have to look dramatic to be powerful. Small does not mean weak. Quiet does not mean useless. Repeated things become real things. This is how the weak version of you dies. Not in one speech, not in one emotional night, but in daily choices that stop feeding him. Every time you choose the hard right thing over the easy wrong thing, you starve the weaker self. Every time you honor your standard, you strengthen the better self. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you become somebody your future can trust. That is gold. Because the goal is not just success out there. The goal is solidness in here. A mind that does not fold so easily. A heart that does not quit so quickly. A life that is not ruled by every passing emotion. You want peace? Earn it. You want confidence? Build it. You want power? Practice it. We keep waiting for our life to change, but life changes after we do. We keep hoping for a new chapter, but new chapters are written by new choices. We keep saying one day, one day, one day, but one day is built from day one. Think about that. Maybe the miracle you are asking for is hiding inside the routine you keep avoiding. Maybe the door you want opened is attached to the work you keep walking past. Maybe the version of you dream about at night is waiting on the other side of plain, simple, repeated action. No magic, no shortcut, no secret, just becoming. And yes, there will be setbacks. Yes, there will be days you miss the mark. Yes, there will be moments when old habits pull at your sleeve. Fine, fall down, but fall forward. Break rhythm, but come back fast. Lose a day, but do not lose your direction. The mature person is not the one who never slips. It is the one who returns quickly and refuses to build a home in failure. So do not waste energy hating yourself for where you have been. Use that energy to build where you are going. Use your pain. Use your regret, use your loneliness, use it all. Fire can burn a house down, or it can forge steel. Decide what your pain is going to make of you, because in the end, your life will become what your repeated choices say it deserves. So before this moment passes and the old comfort tries to pull you back to sleep, answer this honestly. What would the stronger version of you beg you to do before this day ends? Remember the first thing I said. Most people will die full of talent and empty of proof. Do not let that be your story. Do not let your gift stay trapped in your head. Do not let your future become a funeral for your unused strength. Picture this. A year from now, you wake up early without a fight. Your body feels cleaner. Your mind feels sharper. Your word means something again. The work you were scared to begin now has shape. The skill you kept delaying now pays you back. The peace you kept begging for now lives in your routine. People look at you and see change. But more important, you look at yourself and see proof. Proof that you can trust yourself. Proof that you can finish. Proof that you were never too far gone. And it all started on an ordinary day, with an ordinary choice, when you finally stopped worshiping your potential and started using it. That is how a life turns. That is how a man rises. That is how the mirror becomes a witness instead of a warning. So when the excuses come back, tell them the truth. When the fear comes back, take the step anyway. When the old you comes calling, do not answer. You are not here to almost become. You are not here to almost try. You are not here to almost live. No excuses, no waiting, no quitting, just becoming unstoppable.